Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for the More Survivalists, and yes, Vladimir Putin has launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Man, now lots of things to unpack here. Was this something that we knew could happen? Most definitely. I mean, since last week. Now, a lot of us, because I want to include myself in that, I thought it would be mostly like a taking over of eastern Ukraine. I did not expect him to make a full-scale invasion. Now, I'll also say this. At some point, it may well be that he ends up doing what I'm saying, which is he's doing a strike in the entire country, destroying air bases across the entire territory of Ukraine so as to make sure he is crippling their military to its full extent, and then just taking over certain parts of the country. But one thing we cannot argue anymore is this is a full-scale war. It's a full-scale attack and invasion, as of right now, of Ukraine. This is not a matter of opinion. This is a fact because it's happening right now, and we're seeing as the damn bombs drop. Okay, and we're seeing people run, and we're seeing people trying to empty what's left in their bank accounts, and this is what's going on. It's a full-scale attack of the country, okay? So these are facts that we need to accept. You like this or not, what side you are in or not, that's a personal matter. I want to talk about this as well because this is a video from yesterday, and Tucker Carlson was saying the following.
Hatred for Putin is treason. Many Americans have obeyed this directive. They now dutifully hate Vladimir Putin. Maybe you're one of them. Hating Putin has become the central purpose of America's foreign.
So he goes on about how Democrats want you to hate Putin because he, whatever reason, because he's, I don't know. So you're being lied into hating Vladimir Putin. It's not about hating Vladimir Putin or not. As I said when I was talking with Matt this weekend, Vladimir Putin is a dictator, okay? I know that a lot of people like him. He's a strong man, but he's still a damn dictator. Again, not an opinion. This is a fact. The man has been a dictator now in Ukraine, but in Russia for a very long time. This is a known fact. This is a man that assassinates people that criticize him. Sure, governments assassinate people all the time. He is particularly nasty about it in very, Bond movie type of villain fashion, like, killing a dissident in London with a radioactive tea. But, he is a nutcase, and he's proving it right now by attacking a peaceful sovereign nation. What I want to focus on before I move on, as I said, full-scale attack, invasion of Ukraine happening right now. I was checking this out. They're even attacking from, moving through Belarus in the northern sector. So pretty much was accurate was what Joe Biden was saying in terms of a planned attack was already said for last year. He was probably right about that. But of course, given that it was all over the media, it really was not the moment to attack. He attacked the following week, saying exactly what obviously was accurate in terms of the intelligence that they were handling. It's really not that much of a stretch to understand that if you keep on piling hundreds of thousands of soldiers in the borders, and you're sending blood so as to help the wounded during a military conflict, there's a good chance you're going to be doing at least something. Exactly what you're planning on doing, very difficult to say, but an attack is pretty much imminent, and for sure, this filtered all over. It is still Russia. It's not as if it's some, sealed structure where nothing's going to be leaking. You're invading an entire country. Of course, it's going to be noticeable when you do so. And, was this up to a point of saber rattling and just pretending? Or what we saw yesterday and the day before of Vladimir Putin saying that he didn't understand why Ukraine was ever, allowed to be its own sovereign nation. That is it. When the man says that, he's obviously very keen on the idea of, yes, rebuilding the Soviet empire with its satellite states and so on. So when he said that, that was pretty telling. And he was also, this is something you need to watch, when he was addressing his intelligence chief. Putin makes like a farce of having like a council of people that advise him and so on. He is the strong man. He is the one that decides absolutely everything in Russia. But take a look at this when he's talking with his chief of intelligence.
Говорите прямо. Я поддержу предложение о признании. Поддержу или поддерживаю? Говорите прямо, Сергей. Поддерживаю предложение. Так и скажите, да или нет.
I'm supporting.
Предложение о вхождении Донецкой и
Incorporate?
народных республик в состав Российской Федерации. Мы об этом не говорим.
That's not what we're saying.
Мы говорим о признании их независимости или нет. Да. Я поддерживаю предложение о признании независимости. Хорошо, пожалуйста, садитесь. Спасибо.
Sit down like a child. So, if you don't know what fear is, if you look up in the dictionary fear, there's a picture of this man. This man is so scared, he's not able to agree fast enough with whatever Putin is saying. Are we going to be incorporating? Obviously, at some point that was what they were talking about, but he was supposed to say that he's supporting to recognize the territories of Donetsk and Luhansk as independent nations, but he's so scared he doesn't know exactly what he has to agree with. Are we agreeing that we're recognizing these as sovereign states? Are we agreeing that we're incorporating them to the Russian Federation? Obviously, they are incorporating into these territories to the Russian Federation. But what Putin wanted him to say was, no, we are recognizing their sovereignty. And a month later, we're going to be incorporating them when, as free sovereign states, they decide to join Russia. That was supposed to be the childish excuse that Putin wanted him to say. But this man is so scared that he cannot even get his thoughts together. Anyway, guys, one final thing is recognize that there's something very weird going on in terms of what's happening in the United States. What you're seeing right now, again, it's a full-scale invasion of Ukraine by Russia. Is it gonna be? Staying that way? Are they gonna be taking over the entire country? I mean, I think even bombed Kiev. So, I mean, I don't know, but this could well be a way of crippling the military in the entire country and then taking over half of it or all of it. This is up to this man, not this one. But this man right there, where is he? This man and this man alone. Sergei is not going to be deciding anything. It's all up to Putin. And Putin has been very clear about Ukraine belongs to Russia. And there's no one here to stop me. Why the hell should I stop if no one is going to be stopping me? Now, this does a few things. First of all, the idea that the United States is the police of the world, that is really, that's history. It's no longer the case. No one is policing anything here. The Secretary of United Nations literally was begging, please, Russia, don't bomb and take over Ukraine. Please. There's nothing I can actually do, but please don't do it. The United States is going to be getting involved? No. Why not? Because he just lost a war after 20 years against people with sandals and rusted AK-47s. There's no will. There's no moral support. There's no political support. And there's really no intent of going to war with Russia. If you couldn't beat Afghanistan after 20 years, why would you ever go against Russia in a full-on war? Now, this does not mean that World War III has not already started. This is pretty much as clear as it gets in terms of one country, one power becoming self-conscious about how strong it is, most of all, how weak everyone else is. And saying, hey, you're weak? You couldn't beat Afghanistan? You're scared of me? I'm invading and you're just saying, oh, I'm going to be giving you more sanctions. okay, fuck that, I'm invading everything. I'm taking over the entire country, and whatever is left, I'll keep on invading, and I'll go as far as I can. This is history. It's always been this way. For people that think that United States jumped into World War II just because Hitler being a racist, you have no damn clue what you're talking about. This only got real, World War II only got to the point it got when Hitler started dropping bombs in London. They were getting attacked, and it was, we took over Poland, we took over everything in continental Europe, you're going to be taking over your little island as well. That was the only point in which people got really scared, and by people I mean those in the United States and the elite in Great Britain said, man, he's coming for us too. If we don't stop him over there, he's clearly coming here because he's already bombing us. He's already dropping bombs in London. So we're going to be stopping him before he kills us all. He takes over the entire thing. That was the only moment in which everyone all of a sudden got very much against racism and so on and so on. But until that point, it was, okay, you're taking over Poland, sure, it's okay. Same thing right now. He's taking over Ukraine, all right, I mean, sure, why not? I'm not going to be starting shit with you. I don't want to get a nuke shoved in my front door, right? But And I get it. You don't want to you don't want to get involved in a war that's not directly affecting you. Sure. But the state of the world, it's this right now. Vladimir Putin has seen weakness. He's already taking action in 2014, and he got away with that. He got away with annexing a part of a neighboring sovereign country just because he was strong enough to do that. So I get away with that, and I talk with Germany, and Germany says, okay, we're not going to be doing anything. You want to invade? Invade. Okay, I'm invading. You don't want to get any. You don't want any piece of this. All right, stay on this side, stay on the sidelines, and watch as I take over this country. And that's what the world is doing right now. By the world, I mean United States, Europe, looking at it and saying, yeah, we're going to be giving you more sanctions. All right. Now, keep in mind also something that you have to be aware of. This man, Tucker Carlson, who I agree with in lots of things, he is operating for Russia as of this moment. Why is he doing it? I don't know. Why wouldn't you want to operate for Russia? But he's doing that. Listen to what he was saying yesterday.
Patriotic duty to hate Vladimir Putin. It's not a suggestion, it's a mandate. Anything less than hatred for Putin is treason. Many Americans have obeyed this directive. They now dutifully hate.
Okay, and he goes on in typical Tucker Carlson fashion about how Vladimir Putin is not a woke social justice warrior, and how Putin didn't do anything to him personally, and why should he hate Putin. And it's not a matter of hating Putin or not. You do have to recognize that he's a dictator and that he's attacking a sovereign nation. That is what you have to recognize. Hating or not hating, that's a completely different thing. But he goes on to saying things that are very difficult to justify. There's really no excuse for what he says next.
These are fair questions, and the answer to all of them is no. Vladimir Putin didn't do any of that. So why does permanent Washington hate him so much? If you've been watching the news, you know that Putin is having a border dispute with a nation called Ukraine. Now, the main thing to know about Ukraine, for our purposes, is that its leaders once...
Oh, Tucker Carlson, how could you... A border dispute? You're really saying this is about a border dispute? He is attacking Ukraine. He is invading. It's a full-on scale invasion of Ukraine. It was already a full-on scale invasion back in 2014. So you can say, I don't want to get involved. That's perfectly fine. You can say, I actually like Putin because, he's, chubby, funny, friendly-looking Russian nutcase, and he's a strong man, and I like that. And he opposes things that I oppose as well. He opposes the woke agenda. Of course, he's protecting his people, and the destruction of Western society is not favoring him, right? Or actually, it is favoring him, but he doesn't want to see that destruction in his own country. So he's not going to be letting these assholes destroy his country and his society, his culture of family, Russian families. Now, that doesn't make him your friend. This is a confusion that lots of you guys, lots of my friends in the United States, many of my American friends here in the channel that have been following me for a while have this confusion. Just because he opposes the woke agenda doesn't make him any less of a dictator. If you go to North Korea, lots of these things that we also despise are a crime punishable by death. The dictator in Korea will execute you for lots of the things we don't like as well. That does not make North Korea any less of a dictatorship or the dictator in North Korea any less of a dictator. The same goes for Vladimir Putin, okay? The idea that just because he opposes the same things, this is like the people that, I like firearms. You like guns? Okay, we have that in common. You know who likes guns as well? Criminals, murderers, and assassins. Many of them like guns too. Does that make him my friend? Is someone breaking into my house with a gun, all of a sudden, hey, you like guns too? Okay, we're pals. We're good, right? No, we're not fucking good. We're not good with Putin when he's attacking peaceful sovereign nation that did nothing to him at all. He was not attacked by Ukraine. That is something you cannot deny. So why is this man pretending that is the case? I don't know. I assume a few things. I'm not going to be saying it because I don't have any proof of that. I'm not an idiot making unfounded claims. But I'm seeing what he's saying. I hear, I listen, I see that he's saying certain things that clearly have a purpose when he says stuff like this.
Democracy. Not that Ukraine is a democracy. It is not a democracy. Ukraine's president has arrested his main political opponent. He has shut down newspapers and television stations.
Again, why are you lying? I mean, Tucker Carlson is not an idiot. He's actually a pretty clever, smart man. Why is he saying that Ukraine is not a democracy? It is a democracy. It wasn't a democracy when they had a Russian puppet running the country like Belarus is doing right now. They are effectively part of Russia with a puppet president. But the man that he's talking about that was arrested was a Ukraine opposition leader and Putin ally under house arrest. And when I looked the guy up, he's definitely a Russian agent. I mean, yes, you have a Russian agent in your country running for politics, and all of a sudden you are in war with said country. Why would you not arrest the obvious spy that is sabotaging your nation? He is an agent of Putin. The opposition leader in Ukraine is, without a doubt, pretty much admitted Russian sympathizer and agent of Putin. The same for the companies that are funded by Russia within Ukraine. You have an enemy nation attacking you that has certain infrastructure. Of course, you're going to be locking it down, if not arresting and executing everyone that's been a traitor to your country in times of war. That is kind of reasonable. If you have an enemy and you're at war, at the very least, you either kill him or you incarcerate him. So it's actually talking quite a bit about how democratic it is that they've arrested the spy. Yes, you arrest Tucker. Yes, you arrest the spy in your country in times of war, man. You didn't know that? This is all kind of news. Again, he's not stupid. Why is he saying this? Why is he operating for Russia? I don't know. Does this make all of a sudden Joe Biden my friend because he called it like last week when they were saying... No, I mean, he's still everything we know he is. And everything that we said before in terms of who's benefiting from this, still true. The elites, and Tucker Carlson is part of that elite, by the way. In case you don't know, he comes from an extremely wealthy family. He's obscenely rich, and I mean, good for him, but he is part of the elite he often criticizes. Let's be honest. He hasn't got $100 million piled under his bed. That money is making even more money for him through the same channels that the extremely wealthy always end up using. Okay, just in case you didn't realize that, I'm just putting it out there for you to understand. So again, try not to make the video super long, but yes, full-scale invasion. Be aware that this may well be the start of World War III. I mean, I'm not kidding. It well may be, because this man is not going to be stopping. This man is going to be pushing as far as he can so as to go back to the glory days of the Soviet Union and the Russian Federation, like he's calling it now. The Russian Federation needs to be several countries. He wants his own European Union thing going on, as in the former days of glories of the Soviet Union. He's clearly going for that. He said he wanted to have that again. He said they never should have abandoned that, and he is actually doing it right now. What more do you need to understand what's going on here? The cards are all on the table for you to see, okay? Guys, it's gonna be all for now. Very complicated time. See you on the next video, folks. Take care.